What are you doing? Leave me alone! Don't you have any shame? What kind of disgusting behavior is this? Let go of my blouse. Alexa tried to yank his hand away. Otherwise, that obsessive man would have torn her blouse apart. Get up now. And feed my son to me right this instant. I don't know anything. Joseph glared at Alexa with bloodshot eyes. She was already terrified. She had always been scared of Joseph. My child is hungry. Hurry up! He was staring at her as if he'd devour her any second. Then Alexa said, Is your brain even working, Joseph? Let go of my arm. How can I feed Joni? How can you not feed him? Joseph snarled. If you can take your sister's place, decorate the wedding bed like your sister did on her Suhag Rat, then you can certainly become a mother and breastfeed my son. Come on, good girl, hurry up. Open the buttons of your blouse. I'm bringing Joni. You'll feed him right in front of me, and I'll see how he doesn't satisfy his hunger. Hearing this, Alexa felt her soul leave her body. She hadn't even consented to this marriage, but she had made this huge decision for the sake of her nephew, Joni. Her tears hadn't dried yet, and now she was completely shaken by Joseph's words. She couldn't understand how to talk to him. She hadn't properly accepted this relationship that had been suddenly forced upon her. She hadn't come to terms with it, and on top of that, Joseph's bitter, blunt words. Oh God. In just a few moments, Joseph brought Joni, whom Alexa had just fed with a bottle and put to sleep. She had lain down in Joni's room, thinking to herself that she'd change her clothes and sleep with Joni. After all, she had married only to take care of her nephew. She hadn't married to fulfill a relationship with Joseph, but the poor girl had no idea that the moment she put him to sleep and returned, he would wake up crying again. She had always been afraid of Joseph, ever since he was her elder sister, Natasha's husband. He had always been quick to anger. That's why even talking to him made Alexa nervous. And now she was trapped in this bizarre situation. She had no idea what to do. When Joseph brought Joni into the room, the baby was wailing. He placed him in Alexa's lap. You'll feed my son right in front of me, Joseph said. Get up, open your blouse buttons. How did you put him to sleep hungry? Alexa's face went pale at his words. Now will you take it off yourself, or should I? With that, he started unbuttoning the front of her bridal blouse. What are you doing? Have you gone mad? She cried. What kind of filthy behavior is this? Don't you have any shame? Please stop touching me. Why do you keep touching me again and again? She couldn't figure out how to push him away. By now, the front buttons of her blouse were open. Her bra was visible from beneath. Alexa laid Joni on the bed. He started crying loudly. She was struggling to free herself from Joseph. You put my son on the bed, he roared. You have the audacity to make him cry? By then, he had unbuttoned her entire blouse. With great difficulty, Alexa managed to push Joseph hard enough to free herself. For a moment, Joseph was stunned, mesmerized by the glimpse of her beauty. He was a young, virile 27-year-old man. Before he could reach out to touch Alexa again, she had already fled the room. When Joseph saw her running, he lunged after her. But she had locked herself in another room and was sobbing terribly, trying to hide herself. Joseph's nails had left scratches on her chest. She was trembling with fear. Then the door was banged violently. Alexa, open the door quickly or I'll break it down. My child is crying. The way he roared like a lion, Alexa felt her life slip away. She leaned against the wall behind the door and cried. What would Joseph do to her? She knew very well. She was crying when suddenly the door opened. She had locked it properly, but Joseph must have used a duplicate key to enter. She tried to cover herself with both hands. What are you trying to hide? Joseph asked. You probably don't know my temper. I won't spare you. I feel ashamed, Alexa said fearfully. Then today I'll strip away all your shame. He grabbed her arm and dragged her back to his room, throwing her onto the bed. He placed Joni in her lap and said, Come on, feed him. When she still didn't move, he pinned both her hands above her head and forced Joni close to her chest to feed. Natasha was Alexa's elder sister, and Natasha had been married to Joseph, a love marriage. He had seen Natasha at a wedding function and fallen madly in love with her beauty. But along with love, he had an excessive amount of obsession in his personality. He wouldn't let Natasha visit her parents' home at first. When she did, he'd come to pick her up at night, saying, I can't spend a single night without you. One day, Alexa teasingly asked, What do you two do at night that you can't sleep without her? Natasha smiled, playfully smacked her, and said, You're still a kid, stay a kid. When you get married in a few years, you'll see. Your husband won't let you set foot in your parents' home either. That's just how husbands are. When the marriage is new, they keep their wives on the palm of their hand. But as time passes, the same wives start feeling like useless baggage. Seeing the love bites on Natasha's neck, Alexa had mischievously said, "Even though I'm younger, seeing these marks on your neck, it's clear that our grumpy, always angry Joseph Bai is actually very romantic." She had run away laughing while Natasha hid her neck in embarrassment. "Why don't you stay at your parents' home more often?" Alexa would complain whenever she saw Natasha. "Joseph gets very angry. What can I do, Alexa?" Natasha would say. "He says he doesn't like me staying at my parents' home." After marriage, it's the husband's will that prevails, not the girl's. Natasha and Alexa were the only two sisters. Alexa was 6 years younger than Natasha. Once, Alexa insisted, "Stay here tonight. I'll talk to Joseph Bai." Natasha laughed. "You know how short-tempered he is, right? When he comes to pick me up, my hands and feet start trembling, worried that something might go wrong with the food or service. Your mom and I prepare so many things together. Don't talk to him, he might get angry. His temper is always on the tip of his nose." Alexa's heart would fill with tears. She was very attached to her sister. But after marriage, Natasha had almost forgotten the way to her parents' home. She'd visit once a month and the day would pass in chatter. Before they knew it, night would fall, and Joseph would come to take her away. One day, Natasha called and happily told her mother, Asma Begum, that she was pregnant. Asma Begum was overjoyed. "There are servants for every chore, Ami, but no maid is willing to stay the night," Natasha said. "Tell Alexa. Her college holidays are on anyway. Ask her to stay with me for a few days." Alexa went to stay at her sister's house. Once, while organizing Natasha's wardrobe, she said, "Your fancy suits are so nice." Natasha replied, "If you like them, wear them." "Really? You won't mind?" "Why would I mind?" Alexa wore one of Natasha's beautiful embroidered suits. Natasha said, "Alexa, your brother-in-law is coming. Make fresh rotis, he likes them hot. The doctor has confined me to bed rest. Otherwise I'd do these small chores myself." "No problem, I'll make them." Alexa was making rotis when Joseph entered the house quietly. Seeing Alexa's back in the kitchen, wearing Natasha's clothes, he walked in slowly and lightly bit her neck from behind. Alexa screamed, "What are you doing?" Hearing her voice, Joseph jumped back. When she turned around, he was embarrassed. "What are you doing here? And why are you wearing Natasha's clothes?" He was furious. "If you ever wear my wife's clothes again, you'll see what I do to you." "Ill-mannered girl." Alexa was terrified. After that, she became even more scared of Joseph. She quickly returned home and would lock herself in her room whenever he visited. She never told Natasha anything, but fate had other plans. When Natasha gave birth via C-section, the lady doctor unknowingly left chemical-soaked cotton inside her abdomen and stitched her up. Natasha gave birth to a son. After 2 or 3 days, she began feeling slight pain in her stitches. Over time, the pain worsened, sometimes so intensely that she would writhe in agony. A month and a half later, the infection became so severe that Natasha died from the pain. Joseph couldn't believe his ears when the doctor said, "Your wife has passed away." "What are you saying? Have you lost your mind? How could she die?" She only had pain, and the doctor gave her painkillers several times. She was getting better. He was in shock. The doctor said, "During the operation, something was left inside due to the doctor's negligence, causing the infection. If you had shown her to another good doctor in time, the truth would have come out and maybe your wife could have been saved." Joseph cursed the lady doctor, shouted, and caused a scene. But what was the use now? Natasha was gone. He cried like a child. His son was crying in his grandmother's lap. Sometimes Asma Begum tried to soothe him, sometimes Alexa. She wasn't very old herself, just in 11th grade, but Joni wouldn't even take the bottle. He kept crying. For days, Joseph was in a daze. He didn't go home saying, "The house feels like it's going to eat me alive." His parents had passed away earlier. He had lived with his uncle before buying his own house after marriage. Now being alone at home terrified him. Sometimes he'd hear Natasha's laughter or voice calling Natasha and opening doors. When he didn't find her, he'd break down. A month passed. He started going to the factory again. Every day he'd visit Asma Begum's house. Play with Joni for a while and leave. Joni had started getting attached to Alexa, though she didn't handle him much and would quickly get annoyed, handing him back to her mother. He irritates me. He doesn't let me sleep at night. Ami, take him. I have to walk him around and go to college in the morning. Asma Begum handled most of it, but she was old and tired easily. One day she decided to talk to Joseph. He was cuddling Joni. Son, Alexa has left for college and my old bones don't have the strength anymore. I can't take care of Joni. It's beyond both of us.